to me, and sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
Thank you,
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. Just because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, like, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you got to see, man, God is with us, and all is well. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother, who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone, and you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. He's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it, folks. Welcome. Rolling in from Joel's chat. Very nice. How you doing, folks? On this fine Tuesday. Amazing. First time watcher of my show, even. Very nice. It's a pleasure to have you here, truly. It really is a pleasure. I'm back with you. I want to talk about a few things here. I'm going to paint a picture for you a little bit. What the heck is Bond doing? What are these network hosts? What is Nick talking about? I talk about many things. I go on intellectual rants and phone calls Monday through Thursday, and sometimes takes us on VR flights and experiences on Fridays. So true. Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate you being here. And because there's something going on. There's something going on with people. And it's something I've been wondering about for maybe even a long time, about myself. And there's something going on. People believing lies, easily deceived. We see, it seems like people are maybe getting dumber. There's a degeneration going on, a falling apart of things, and a going out of an old and incoming of a new. Hatred in families. There are people out here all loved up one day. They're all loved up and they get married. They're like, we're going to bring love and a family into this world. And there's divorces and problems, okay? And people are lost. People are lost. Men are lost. Men are lost. They don't know the answer to that question. What is a man? And some don't even consider that a question worth answering at all. And there's war. War, war, war. War. It's a war zone. We are living in a war zone. Anybody hear that song by Yoko Ono? Yoko Ono. Some might know her better than I. Married. Did she ever marry that man? John Lennon, the Beatles, white men. Anyways, that's not so important. But she's this, they say she's the crazy woman who brought in all this avant-garde screaming into the music that not a lot of people liked. They thought, this woman brought down the Beatles, they say even. I don't know about, I just don't know. But hearing her and her psycho babbling and yelling on that 2016 or 15 track, Warzone, is almost poetic to a little bit of the picture I want to paint here. Because you hear me talk here. And it's like, what is this Bond network? It's a hatred of women, hatred of black people, hatred. And I know that my viewers know that what we're about is love. It's loving even your enemy, and at least trying to discover what that is, right? So I want to paint a picture a little bit here. And it has to do with angry mothers. Okay. So how do we get into this? Hold on. Because it's an interesting topic. It's a mom rage is the topic. Mom rage. A bit of a trend on TikTok due to it being almost, I guess, discovered in the modern social media era. But still, I'd say a bit of a topic that's kind of secret. A big secret, if you will. Some say the biggest secret, the best kept secret, some say. The best kept secret. And if you're a shallow person, if you're a person who cares about titles and words and things like that, this is what the right wing says. This is what the red pill says. This is what a Christian says. Then you're going to not understand what I'm going to get into here. This is just females, even. So let's keep an open. What am I talking about? Not open mind. Just don't judge. Look, mom rage. I've actually brought it up before briefly, but it's a thing. It's a studied topic. It's got words. It's got the experts commenting on it. It's got the therapists with their prescriptions and methodologies to deal with and diagnose / treat this mom rage. Studied by academia, yet still kind of secretive. It's been gaining steam on TikTok. It's been gaining steam as a search term, mom rage, on social media. Some news, Good Morning America, these kinds of publications picking it up. They got the ladies out sitting in the circle, and they're talking about it. They got their power suits on, their legs crossed, and they're talking about it. And I see no men anywhere, but we'll get into that. Check this in. Here's a video for you. From TikTok. How do we do this? Boom, boom. My biggest struggle as a new mom with my anger, is the caption of this TikTok. My struggle as a new mom with anger. And it's, like I said, mom rage is actually a known thing. So check it out. I saw a TikTok suggesting ice throwing is a good way to release. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Look at her face. You almost don't think, like, she seems like she might be mildly attractive, as some say. But her face contorts an angry person. The little cutie, she was so cute in her wedding dress, contorts and looks like that. Like a goblin a little bit, it reads here, completely satisfied that need to destruct, exclamation, exclamation, without being destructive. It completely satisfies the need to destruct. I guess destroy, she means, without being destructive. You know how anger makes you stupid. But anyways, I guess she means destroy. Out of ice, but not done yet. So you got to go into the tub. Yeah, you let that anger out. You let it out. You let out all that anger. It's out of you. You just needed a release much better. This is normal. This is good. This is a good thing. That's a mother who is trying to be a better mother. This is a great thing. Was that a transgender? Oh no. This transgender business has done a number on our perception of the women, you know. We're what's it called? Gun shy. We just say, do you think she's attractive? I don't know. So anytime someone asks you now, hey, look at the picture of this woman, do you think she's attractive? I don't know. I don't have enough information. What do you mean you don't have enough information? Is she attractive? I don't have enough information. I don't have the details. I don't have the facts. What a mess. But angry, mom rage, it's all the rage. Uncontrollably so. They got a TikTok trend about it when you look it up. And, you can see all sorts of videos if you wanted to, right? Well, okay, that's not how TikTok works. Hold on. Log in to search for popular. Okay, if you logged in, you maybe would have found it. I'm not logged in here, clearly. But just search up mom rage. And even the Christians are going through it. Okay? They got faith. What is this? How to Faith a Life, which is one of these family channels. Some vlog. Seems like a family vlog channel. This lady likes to vlog her family as a Christian. Her family seems to be involved in the videos. I always say that the women are the ones who push this, but that's just my take. There's other families on YouTube where the dad's all involved, but they call it postpartum anger. Look, they use the words. Postpartum anger, postpartum rage. And this is a Christian family, right? How to Faith a Life. And in this video, she describes really not wanting this anger, like truly not wanting it. I believe she's sincere. I believe a lot of the women going through this are quite sincere. And she does not want this anger in life. She says she doesn't want this anger to define her marriage and her life with her children, and feels very guilty when it comes up. She feels massive guilt when it comes up because she's not supposed to, right? She's not supposed to feel these things. And so the Christians are going through it too. And it's interesting they use the words postpartum anger, postpartum rage, postpartum depression. I've come to learn, by the way, postpartum depression, guess what? Postpartum rage and anger are part of postpartum depression. Oh, and guess what else is part of postpartum depression? Anxiety. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's a term I heard growing up. They call it postpartum depression. It just happens. I don't know. I always thought it was strange growing up. What do you mean it just happens? It just happens. Hormones. That's what I heard. It just happens, little Nick. Don't you understand? It just happens. Moms, they get depressed after having children. I always found it strange, but I thought it was a good thing. I don't know. I just didn't understand. And it turns out within this umbrella of postpartum depression that the experts have used exists this anxiety, rage, and anger. But we'll just call it all depression. Isn't that funny? Let's use the word anger, rage. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, just sweep it under depression. Yeah. You have postpartum depression. We'll just sweep it all under there. No, you have the anger. It's just, it's part of the umbrella of postpartum. I find it interesting. Another obvious interesting thing here is the usage of the world's terms. Postpartum right here. It shows to me just how shallow really the world is. And that's not like a put down. You're so nasty. It's just a reality. Everybody, we got to go deeper to understand ourselves. Okay, where am I? The Christians are going through it. The TikTok trends. And can I just say, I don't know if this wasn't clear, but this is insane. There's nothing about this right here that's that should be said that like we should be calling it normal. That this is a way of coping. That at all. This is final stages. This is final stages of warnings before something really bad. Okay, so I wanted to point that out, that I'm going to try and start linking some things here, pointing out how the society, our world, the world I grew up in, their response to the world is to see, is poetically this. It's this reacting to the emotion, using the emotion as a guide to your life on how to understand your life, and actually never getting better, and ultimately making the problem worse. And so those aspects I just described is this feminine way of looking at the world, which is how men are reacting to the world today. So you understand what I'm describing here? I'm gonna flesh it out here and a couple more things here. And you could call in 888-775-3773. I want to flesh that worldview out a little more because it is the world we're living in. And it's why people can't get better. It's the reason people can't get better. And this message, there's a cohesive message here. And I'm working it out. You see me doing my show. And you could judge me, I guess, personally and discount the message, but there's something going on here. There's something going on with men and women. And so when we're talking about anger, what Bond is talking about, I think is we're talking about the real stuff here. Where else are you going to get what we're talking about? So allow me to flesh this mentality out that men have adopted, that they use to interact with the world in the wrong way, and they only get worse. And how this is not even the women. It's not even her natural form. It's not even it's not even what was meant for her and for us, etc. And there's a way out in a sense. Okay, let me just get into it. Tips for how mothers could deal with mom rage. I mean, this is a significant enough thing that many mothers report dealing with mom rage. Like, think about that. This is the same world that tells you this is the nurturing, loving mother. That's what love is. Now, where does all that love? Where is all that love when you're having your mom rage? It's a question that I've had about myself. Where's all my love and goodness, etc., in judgment? Where is getting better in life. Where is that in my life? I wondered at a time. Blaming gets you nowhere. Little sneak peek, I guess. But look, I want to show you a little bit about how these women are dealing with this mom rage. Because I got to say something. For all the things we can say about women, for how hell is coming through them, and I hope you understand that's a point I'm making here. Hell is coming through the woman, a big secret. For all that truth there, in this particular space, in this topic of mom rage, these women are being in a sense sincere. Here's how should I put this? They see it's like a problem, and the first step is admitting a problem in a sense, right? And it's interesting to see the women deal with it. So let's just see them deal with it instead of talking about it. How about that? Here's the first clip I wanted to show you. Some ladies got together here to talk about mom rage. And I know someone just came into the studio and took the fan. I know the fan, you need it for Jesse, probably for doing some filming. But if someone could do me a solid and grab the other fan and set me up, if you can hear me out there. This is a cry for help. This is, in fact, a cry for help. Okay, look at these women talk about mom rage.
Rage and the
I think the other fan is right here too. Nice, thank you. Look at mom rage.
Some of the rage and the frustration comes from this always this, expectation that we have to be on all the time and there for our kids constantly.
We're in the era of intensive mothering. It's actually researched, it has a name, and it's like we need to be all the things, do all the things, sacrifice ourselves, our well-being, our finances, our time. So when we've got that pressure cooker of you're never doing enough, we've got individual things that can contribute to this mom rage, like our sleep deprivation, our hormones and things as we touched on. But then we step back and we've got this pressure cooker that we live in that expect moms to be perfect and to always be nurturing and kind and gentle and complete all these things on the side and just smile while doing so, right? So when we express anger, it goes against everything that we think we need to be a good mom. So there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of guilt that comes with that because in my mind, I'm supposed to love every minute of this role. It's so high stakes. It's so important.
I picked that one because particularly the way she talked about the situation here. So they're saying, we got this mom rage. But I wanted to zero in on this language. How do I put it? It's almost clinical. You see, you got these contributing factors, and it's sleep deprivation and hormones, and you step back, and everyone's expecting you to smile. And I realize that's like you almost sound like a nurse. You sound clinical. How do I put this? It's how the world responds to everything. And it seems powerless. It seems shallow. Like you're not really explaining what we're really getting at here, because why are you feeling this shame? This shame is because you're confronting this initial assumption that you love your children. You have love. You're nurturing. That's what the world says too. And there's this initial confrontation with that, like, wait, how come I can't smile? I'm not smiling. And then why is the world expecting you to smile? Where's that expectation coming from? Because here's the underlying subtext here. It's what everyone is claiming, this love. Everyone's claiming this love, that they have it, they know what it is, they're nurturing. Of course, I love my kids. And you're confronted with this, then this shame comes. Now, it's interesting, the ladies here who've confronted this mom rage stuff, you'll hear in this next clip some of this language. It seems like they've come to the realization that they shouldn't feel guilty for just a mere emotion, which is interesting. But so far, you understanding me so far? Like they talk about it in such a clinical way. It's everything but what's really going on. Let's talk about everything but the nagging question. Do I hate my children? Now, these women have tried confronting that, and they have therapy around it. They have academia a little bit. They have methodologies, etc. They have tips, and you look at some of the tips for the women they have, and they're in a practical way. They're in my opinion, at least the sum of what I've seen, pretty helpful about not judging yourself, about not judging yourself over feeling an emotion. You're human, they say. But take this in. Therapy on the mom rage. They're all so there's so much rage, they need the therapies. Are they getting the help they need? Let's listen to this therapist talk about mom rage.
One of the most challenging feelings that you probably have as a mom is rage and anger and that intense frustration that literally happens to every mom that I've ever spoken to be honest. So whenever I talk about rage or ragey, feeling ragey, moms always tell me how much they relate to that and they appreciate me talking about it. So today I'm here to explain a little bit more about why you're probably feeling rage or so angry, to help you understand a little bit more about what's going on. So today we're talking about mom rage, or that intense mom anger.
You gotta love feeling rage and feeling ragey. You gotta put the little E at the end. You gotta soften it up. It's the woman's way. Feeling ragey, to soften the blow of feeling intense anger. Anger. These are what these mothers are reporting. Anger towards and feelings of hatred towards their children. And intense frustration. Okay? You understand?
That is so common for so many moms. So first of all, don't judge yourself. You are not alone. You're not a crappy mom. You're not bad because you feel these ways. So anger and rage, these are just emotions. You are a human. You're going to feel the whole spectrum of emotions. Sometimes it's surprising though in motherhood because we're told that we're supposed to be so gentle and calm and loving all the time. But this is the most intense period probably of your life. So doesn't it make sense that you feel overwhelmed at times? So whenever a mom tells me that she's feeling rage or she's feeling so angry, I always talk about the iceberg metaphor, okay? So think of an iceberg. You see the tip of it. And the tip in this scenario is the anger. You see anger, you feel anger. But there is so much more going on underneath that I really want you to consider. So anger is like a warning sign. It's the symptom that's grabbing your attention, but it's not really the problem. There's other things underneath. So whenever you feel that intense anger, ask yourself what need is...
Okay, you follow so far, right? You still with me? You still with me? She's about to tell us exactly why. Now you said that was nice, right? Don't judge yourself. You're gonna feel the emotions. You're human. Okay, you're not a crappy mother because you feel these emotions. And she's correct. I don't know if accidentally. And there goes the gentle talk again, like you heard in the last clip. That's how the world sees what love is. Because you're supposed to be gentle and nurturing. Like that's supposed to be like a synonym for love. So anyways, where were we? Yeah, it makes sense. You're overwhelmed. You wanted this, remember, ladies? Kind of thing. You know, she's talking about it's making sense. You're overwhelmed. Yes, that is like a reasonable kind of thing to about life. You know what I mean? I think people, for example, I'll hear it even with the bond. I forgave, but I still feel anger, Jesse. And how am I supposed to put, what am I trying to say with this? Not that it's okay or anything. Thanks, James. I'm saying that you still got life to deal with, okay? And a pregnancy and all this stuff happening. And then on top of that, oh, you're also supposed to be gentle and nurturing. Oh, also, you're equal to the man, but you're equal to the man in words, but in practice, it's women leading the way, it seems. In the homes, yeah, they'll work. The man will work and stuff, but she's got to deal with discipline. I hear that mothers deal with discipline and they deal with and they're the main discipliners. They're the main advice givers. It's like, okay, it seems like the world's on your shoulders, ladies. and you can't handle it? Because that's what you're saying, right? We're not having enough support. Oh, wait, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Supposed to be gentle, that's not love. You're overwhelmed, makes sense, but hey, wait a second. Wasn't there a grand societal change in the roles of people here? Let's see what the therapist has to say now about this iceberg she describes. The anger is just a sign of what's going on beneath. That makes sense, right, folks? Can I just say this real quick on that iceberg metaphor? Anybody who's had any therapy, a little bit of therapy, I think, in my opinion, because I've talked to people who have gone through therapy, and they'll even reach out to me and say things like, hey, Nick, these therapists sometimes say things like what Jesse says, man. What's so bad about therapy? Have you noticed that the therapists, although some of their takes, how do I put this? The iceberg metaphor about anger being a sign of something deeper going on is absolutely true, and something that probably most of the world hasn't even confronted. So when you hear a therapist say that, it's like, wow, that's amazing. But I got to say, notice that Christians talk like that. Your average Christian talks like that. This is not a put down. You're people that, this sounds like high and mighty for a second, but maybe that's just Satan in my mind. Look, people that come to Bond and listen to and call into Jesse, they'll say that, they'll say this, oh, it's anger, and anger is just a sign of what's going on beneath. It's like, yeah, now let's go to the next step. Don't just stay there. It seems like the shallow therapy. Don't you understand? It's like, great. That's a great step one. There's so much more. What's the rest of the iceberg? I want to understand the whole iceberg here. So I just want to say that. Let's get to it. What is she saying? What's the iceberg here? What's her thoughts on the rest of the iceberg?
Not being met. Okay.
Your needs not being met. Okay, let's back it up.
What need is not being met?
Oh.
Okay, anger is usually a sign that there's an unmet need. So maybe you're feeling like you don't have enough support. You don't have help. You're not getting enough rest, right? Your basic needs aren't being met. You're not feeling validated and seen. Maybe things feel really unfair with your partner. You're feeling really alone. Okay, so these are all unmet needs that can lead to intense anger. Sometimes when these difficulties go on for too long, it's just too much for too long, and it creates overwhelm, and you start to just burst. So that could also be part of what's going on here. You might feel like you never get a break. You might feel like you're not expressing your true self anymore. So as you're listening to me, if you're like, yes, that's me, I just want to wrap my arms around you in a big hug and help you know that these are realistic needs. You deserve to have these things. And if you don't have them, it explains why you're feeling so angry.
That is the answer of the world. That is the answer of the world for everything. Have you noticed that? For men, for women, for people going through stuff, for people who want to kill themselves, for people who, for everybody, they tell you, you just need something else. And if you weren't paying attention, you would hear her and not realize that you maybe wouldn't hear it this way, but you would just think, okay, she's misguided, she's brainwashed. But maybe you wouldn't say that she's blaming. Or maybe you wouldn't even say that she's hating. She's full on hating. So let me put it like this. Where was I? Anger is an unmet need, she says. An unmet need. Like I said, that's kind of the prescription of the world. You need something else. There's something else you need, and you don't have it, so you got to blame. It's something else missing. But it's so pernicious because it's presented to you in this foxy way. Where it's just you have these basic needs. You're supposed to have these things, and you don't have them. That's unfair. That's unfair. And I don't know. She adds all the little validated and seen and unfairness with your partner stuff. How am I supposed to parse that out, Miss Therapist? So is that more of someone else's fault? Help me understand, Miss Therapist. What do I do when the whole world's against me and I don't have my basic needs and I don't have rest? What do I do then? You know what I mean? what do I do when I don't get these things, right? Because it seems like at the end of the day, it's the end of the day. It just seems like I'm still subject to these things you're talking about, miss. And you might not even see that as anger. You might not see that as, oh, that's not hatred. She just doesn't quite see it. But everything she just said, you could draw a direct line to this. Watch this.
One I respect immediately said, this is misogynistic. That this is not, this conversation could be a burden, a further burden on moms, because dads surely are going through something too. How do you explain the distinction to people?
I mean, mom rage is really because of misogyny. So it's funny that this conversation is being labeled as misogynistic. I mean, mom rage stems from the overwhelming stress and impossible expectations of modern motherhood, combined with the immense lack of support in the family structure and also in the societal systems, like no maternity leave, childcare being astronomically expensive, things like that. And, in a family of, when there's two parents, it is so often the mother who ends up staying home if they can't afford childcare because the father makes more money because of the gender wage gap. So mom rage is connected and really because of patriarchy and misogyny and the lack of support for mothers.
Like I said, you might not think that last clip was exactly the same. Well, one is this hateful woman. She's this talk about misogyny and crap, and the other one, both are blaming. Both are blaming and will never get better. And both feel bad for the victim. And both don't have the real answer to get better. And not really. Do you see it how I see it, folks? It's empty. There's no real understanding of what's going on. You still haven't answered, Miss Nurturing Mother. Why did you hate your kid? You still haven't answered that. So okay. So all this to say is that you might look at you see what I'm trying to say here, that not every woman is even thinking like this one right here, saying, oh, it's the patriarchy. Okay? But it's still an outward blaming for what you're feeling inside. And that's what we've all been taught. That's what the men have been taught. It's how I grew up. And so this has been a giant reflection of myself as well. It sounds like almost you might be watching this going, right on, red pill wins, we got them. Or you're thinking misogyny, this is hatred of women. And you're not understanding there's a whole story here. I'm part of it too. I grew up in this world, right? I grew up like this and can see how this has taken hold in the men around me. These women, they're saying, look, it's a whole story here. They're saying our needs aren't being met. Remember, I've presented to you how there's some women who have taken that to a whole new level. Our needs aren't being met, so we're not going to have babies anymore until society ends or changes. Wow. So they're saying needs not being met, our basic needs. Okay, we're not getting help. Yeah, let's say the other things like validation, being seen, and unfairness with your partner, expressing yourself. But what did they start off with? Your basic needs: rest and help with the kids and support, money. Let's take this to reality for 1 second. What am I trying to say here? Let's just bring this to today. They have that. You understand? They have that more than ever, don't you think? The courts, backups on backups, welfare, food stamps, money for the children, child support if you had to deal with a man and all that. If you had a child out of wedlock, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying the point I'm trying to make here is that it seems to fly in the face of this notion of, well, that's what we're missing. That's what the women are missing. And at the same time, all that has this effect that's against the men. Have you noticed that? All of this has this effect. It is effectively stands up against the men. Do you see what I'm trying to say with that? All of this support that the women have been clamoring for, saying that the men aren't giving it to them, has pushed men away, pushed manhood away, and has brought in more of the problems that they were talking about. You see what I'm saying? So all the aspects I mentioned with that earlier video exemplified right there, not making it better. And it all comes together in this story that comes alive for me, even like with Christianity and biblically. Something I didn't have growing up, something even though my family were Christians, led by women, they never took hold in me. Yet they said all the right words. They took me to church. This whole story comes alive with what I heard Jesse say, forgive your mother, and bringing that around, okay? And returning to the Father. Look, there's a fight. Oh, how do I put this? A fight. What I'm trying to say is the devil wants the boys. This is just something I saw today, okay? This is just something I saw today to add to what I'm saying. But Boy Scouts to become Scouting America, a new inclusive move. Like, it's been over. Who cares about the Boy Scouts of America, okay? Obviously, that's not the point here. This is just the latest in what is a militant removal of all that is masculine, manly, boyhood. Because look, this is the assumption that they are called Boy Scouts. The assumption is they are not inclusive. That means they are hateful. They are keeping others out. We all know what this word means now. We all know what it means now. It's not just, so that's what they're saying. And so being manly, being, saying truthful things, just being discriminatory. Yeah, that's a manly thing. That's all not inclusive. That's all what Boy Scouts do. And we cannot be Boy Scouts. We got to be Scouting America. You get it? There's a big old, it's a grand conspiracy that goes to biblical times. Okay, anyways, 888-775-3773 if you want to call in, because hopefully you understand me here. It's a story. It's a true story with a beginning, middle, end. Are you following me at all? About men and women and all this going on, and how love is not what we thought it was. And a man is all love, not the woman, all this nurturing crap. A man is all love, total love. And that's just me saying, I'm just saying that. I'm just telling you that. I'm talking about it, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. Okay, so what else here? What else? It's a war zone. We're living in a war zone. Yeah. Some say. That's what some say. What the? Sorry.
Warzone.
4 4
It's a war zone. Men flashing their guns and balls.
Uh-oh.
Women looking like Barbie dolls.
True.
Wake up, wake up. Hold your life.
Hold your life.
You're out to chill, out to kill.
Oh.
War zone.
It's a war zone. Yeah, when did this come out? Yeah, John Lennon dead. John Lennon been dead. This and Warzone comes out 5 years ago. Huh. It's 2019 actually. Yoko Ono with a Warzone from just 5 years ago. So poignant. So poignant. It's such a deep message, right? War bad, peace good. War bad, peace good. Warzone. We're living in a war zone. You can't even disagree with her. That's the thing. I'll just be petty if you disagree. It's what, Nick? You think war is good? You disagree with this? But isn't this so like the woman to react to the world in this way? We're in a war zone. Let me yell and scream and feel the war and be in the war and say out loud that this is a war zone. Don't you know, Yoko Ono, that the world is an angry place? That's been an angry place, Yoko Ono? The world is an angry place, like Trump said. And, yeah, it's an angry place. Imagine thinking you're going to wake the world up from that. What are you, God? You can only deal with yourself. You can only deal with yourself. And you can deal with yourself, okay? So it's a bit of the story here, okay? With Bond and what I've been saying. Maybe trying too hard. Maybe trying too hard. But look, it's a good message, man. That the world is an angry place. That it starts with you. That you got to deal with yourself. The anger you have is unnatural. It's holding you back. You don't have to feel this war zone. Okay? If you could deal with the war inside. Okay. Anyways, how old is Yoko Ono now? It's a good question. They always outlive. Let me get to calls. Amazing. I appreciate your calls. 888-775-3773. Yoko Ono age. They always outlive the men, they say. She is 91. These Japanese people, do they have the secret to longevity? Amazing. Or is it just the women? Is it war zone? We are living in a war zone with Vicki out of Texas. I appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, bro.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Doing good.
Right
I had to call in onto your show as well.
Thank you so much.
Joelle's. I love all your topics today. This whole woman-man thing, it just goes all the way back to the garden. Let's just go straight to where it started. And it's just that evil spirit that just follows generation after generation in the woman. The woman thinks she's a god. She demands to be treated as God. And so men fall into that. And evil helps protect the woman. So that she can go on. And they use these words like isms, like Jesse talks about. Oh, it's so true. Those are all controllable for them. They use the isms, all of that. And also with the, women use the premenstrual syndrome, the postpartum syndrome in order to control the men, because I know a lot of females now. Growing up back in the day that I did, you just kind of went naturally along with having your kids. And we didn't really have those words back then. Huh. We just kind of went through what we had to go through, and nothing was this big, terrible thing, right?
Interesting.
But it's so weird that the generations just sort of get more, it sidetracks you from nature. What's natural to do. And it's just like all those postpartum, like these women today, like they get mad at their husbands about every little thing. Well, I had your baby, so you owe me a mommy makeover, you know?
Right.
And there's some people out there that get married to these women, and they're like, okay, well, you married me, and I'm a 10. So after I have your kid, then we have to put in our, you know, in our prenuptial that you're going to give me a mommy makeover that's worth $50,000, and I get made over from head to toe, so I look perfect all the time.
And it doesn't always have to be that exaggerated. That some level of that is going on with people, and they don't realize
different levels.
Yeah, they don't realize that that's not love, and this is what I've been trying to allude to. There's something going on, and we've been lied to about love.
Yeah, because the women
too, by the way,
honestly do not have love. They don't know it, and they don't have it until you seek out love. You're not going to find it. It's on your own journey. It's on your own journey. And it's like until you truly go for it and go through everything that you have to go through, you're not going to find it. And it's you know, it's like I'm literally to the point now where it's like I just see that everything out here is an illusion. When you actually live in the moment with God in the presence, everything is perfect. Like it's all laid out for you. You should have no worries, no nothing. Like quit tripping. You just need to go and forgive. But women don't want to forgive. Women truly don't. Before I forgave my folks, there's no way, man. I wanted to hold on to the anger because it gave me material things, you know?
Totally.
And so it's like I love the material things of the world. Well, now that I love God and put him first, and I go after his voiceless voice and his ways, it's like the world is getting farther and farther away from me where none of this stuff matters to me. Like absolutely zero. None of this, but I understand it. I understand it because I've been there. But when you go forgive and then you find God's nature and you know that voiceless voice and you know that he is like guiding you perfectly, life is amazing. And Jesse's right. It's mind-blowing, and it just takes you to different levels depending on how hard you're working on yourself. But all these isms and all these things that people have you all wrapped up in, it's an illusion. It's ridiculous, and it's not good. You know, it's hatred, it's anger, and it's all wrong. Every bit of it's wrong. But until people are ready to come out of hell, you know, you can't do anything for anybody. You know, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, Vicki, you know what? I know it's true that Satan has like gotten the hold of the minds of the Christians, of the people who are married, of the people who, you know, say they want to have love, etc. I know why Satan has the proof that Satan has them, and why it's interesting what you're saying. It's important almost because if only people knew, because the proof is in this. If you're having this blissful life, if you're just if only other women knew. Wait, you're telling me I'm fighting against a loving, stable family? Wait, you know what I mean? Like, what is it that they're even fighting against? And men too, maybe even. Do you understand what I'm saying here? That's what proves to me that this is irrational. It's a spiritual battle that Satan has their mind, because what they're fighting against is a loving family. You know what I mean?
You know, I know. It's so true, though. Isn't it mind-blowing to think that way, though? I mean, I don't know. There's just that truth, and then there's that non-truth, you know? And once you stick to that truth, I mean, like, I understand how even now it's like, I don't know. I see where I do love my enemy only because, you know, people that try to get me angry and try to push my buttons, and the more I just can't do it. I can't go along with the game. It's like they get even angrier, and it's really crazy to watch that happen. You know, it's like they push you farther and farther just to test you, and the more you push back, it's just like, you know, I can't give in to all that. And it's like, you know, I'm literally on this path by myself, and I absolutely love it.
Interesting.
love being on this path, man. It's a trip, and we're going through it. Like Dustin's had 2 concussions in 5 weeks, right? Major concussions. And so he's seeing a lot of things happen to him physically, but he understands, and that the more we go towards this fire that we're walking through right now, because there's a lot of changes in him. His brain's been mushed. And so there's a lot of changes. So we keep going through it, and we keep each other on the same path. It's like I tell him, look, yeah, I see the little differences. I mean, I see them, I understand them, but just know we're going to get through this. Together we're going to get through this because we have God in us. And so just keep focused on that he's going to bring us through everything that we're going through, man. And it's little baby steps at days, but we always get through that day. And then it's just the next day. You just take on whatever challenge, and then we're getting stronger, both of us. And it's amazing to talk this way because it's the truth. Like, he is getting better little by little, instead of just, falling off the deep edge and saying, yeah, I know that, I'm different and I'm not here for you like I used to be. It's like, hey, don't even worry about that. It's about you, man.
I think I'm understanding you. It almost makes me think about that video I played. I hear these women, they're saying, and you understand that I'm seeing the world talk like this. It's not just women. There's just no love for anybody here, and the women are really exemplifying it. And I'm hearing them talk and say, oh, if I had the support, if I had this or that, but what if you didn't have that? How do we be okay? How do we be strong, etc.? And so it sounds like, am I somewhere there? Is that what you're describing? This true strength through all things, enduring whether you have, whether you don't. Kind of like the If poem a little bit.
Bit
when
like
loved,
If,
when not loved, when hated and not hated. And
exactly.
Yeah.
It's, hey, right on, bro. That's true. It's so true. But once you find God in His ways, He's not going to let you down. You are in a bubble, and and the more He brings you through it, through these challenges, you just know that whatever Satan's telling you in your head is just poof. We know who this is. You can't take us backwards. Both of us are into God. We both love Him. We're on the same path, but we are different. But so I got his back, he has mine, and we're no better than one another. He's no better than me, I'm no better than him, but we are one with God. And we're going to get through everything, believe me, because God will bring you through it, every bit of it. And we take the challenges on straight ahead. And it's an amazing way to live. When you go forgive, you get your strength back, you get back. He replenishes everything that the world takes away. He truly does, and it's amazing to go through this world like
Thanks,
this.
Vicki.
Totally different than what we're taught. Absolute opposite. So I'm just grateful that I found Jesse years ago, and I love listening to you guys, but the last couple months has been kind of, Dustin's been going through it. You can't bash your brain like that a couple of times in 5 weeks, so,
well,
yeah. So
interesting
it is what
to hear
it
his
is.
story. But like everybody, right? Sticking with it. Very interesting.
And yeah.
Vicki. Sorry, go on.
No, everybody is going through their own battles, regardless if it's physical or it's your thoughts that get in the way. Like, thoughts are just so, they're becoming farther and farther away. Really, truly becoming farther away. And it's just because that's how we both want it now. It's become so natural that it's leaving because it knows that God's nature is taking over. And so really they'll find somewhere else to go, because if you pay them no mind, then how are they going to control you? And it's just like all these words and
is that true power I hear? No.
No, I don't have my
have
own
you heard
power,
have you
bro.
heard the biblical question?
I have
Yeah.
on Sunday. Yeah, I did.
No, I didn't say it was yours,
No,
but hey, appreciate
Yeah.
it, Vicki. Anything last thing
Love
you want to
it,
say here
man.
before we move the wheels?
Everybody just go and forgive. Listen, this is everything on all these shows. Jesse, all of it. Love you guys. It's all the truth. Get it out there. And we could turn this world around. There doesn't have to be war and all this mess. And if everybody just loved everyone, and I know that doesn't sound possible, but it really, truly is. It
Right on, Vicki.
really
Thanks.
can happen. But I love you guys. Take care.
Call me again. Thank you,
I'll talk
Vicki.
to you soon. I will.
Appreciate
God bless you.
888-775-3773. That was barely 7, I think. Come on, guys. Thanks. Call me again. Call me 888-775-3773. Where were we? A little bit about love. A word no one understands, I guess. Love. Love thy enemy. What did I want to say here? How do we get into this? Hate, blame, and victimhood. Same thing, right? Anger. It's all the same. The same thing. It's happening with everybody. I don't know if you can see that. It's happening with black people, white people. It's happening with everybody. I remember listening to Jesse talk about the black home and the black family. And that being such a clear representation of what's going on with me. I don't know if everybody gets that. I'm sure a lot of people get that. I'm sure a lot of people watching get that. But Jesse would talk about the black family and black mothers and young black men. I'm like, man, he's talking about me. And not because I'm the blackest one here, which, again, I don't know why you could... People say that. I think it's up for debate now. Maybe not. I can be pretty ghetto. I have a friend, if you're listening, who said that I can actually be kind of a little bit, how should we put it, glizzerish. Maybe I could give you some examples this Friday. But anyway, I digress. I could see that, about black mothers, about young black men. That he was talking about me. He's talking about what happened to all men. What happened? We're living in a war zone. We're seeing the pock marks of artillery all around us. Divorce. Weak men. Some are in a daze. They're like, this is good. This is fine. This is real life. The rest of us, we're like, wait, hold on. We're shell-shocked. We're hearing the Black Hawk Down music. We're like looking around. And in the smoke, there's Jesse. He's like, forgive your mother. No, okay, I'm messing around, but look, the whole story what's going on with the black family and all that. I don't know if you see that. If you're paying attention, that's the story of what's going on with people in the home. Okay. Or are you that shallow? You don't see that. And so about black people. How should I put this? Black people look like monkeys sometimes. You're going crazy. You're going crazy. White people look like pigs sometimes. Oh, now it's not so bad all of a sudden. Mexicans look like ratones sometimes. Why are you getting mad at me? I had a whole show yesterday, and the one thing that got people to call me is these racist white guy doing the monkey sounds at that lady. Or maybe I'm exaggerating. People call me for other things. But there's this racist old from the University of Mississippi, whatever. What is this? The University of Mississippi or something? Ole Miss. Okay, they got his name plastered. They're saying he's a racist. He did monkey sounds. This is really, really bad. Huh? I can't. I don't know. I wish I could keep going. What do Asian people look like? Look, some, obviously, you understanding me here? It's like, that's what's got people going. And people are shallow. Like I said something that crazy or controversial. And this guy they're yelling Lizzo at this woman. If you don't know, the story is they got this one guy that they singled out of this protest that's happening on campuses, and they're going off everywhere. You know about this. And it's the Palestinian people against the Israel people. Okay? And they're yelling at each other all sorts of things. They're obscenities. I'm sure a lot more has been said that's not been filmed. They've got apparently, I mean, they say it's an anti-Semitic trope or something like that. Pig sounds. They're going oink, oink. Maybe they're even directing that at the police. Nobody says anything about that. Police have been getting it. Okay. And they got this group of, it seems like the young white guys. They got American flags. They're saying, we want Trump, drowning out these brainwashed pro-Palestine protesters. And maybe the brainwashed frat bros, maybe they're brainwashed frat bros, but they're pro-America. So, whatever. Look, they're yelling at each other, and they zero in on this one guy, and I already showed you yesterday, I think. They zero in on the one guy who is apparently making monkey sounds. You know, they're yelling Lizzo, and she's a heavier set black female. She is a heavier set black female. Oh, dang. And let's go. And this is and tensions are high. People want to go to war. People want to go to war. In fact, I even had someone even super chat me yesterday. It was in fact a carver who, you may notice, has a wrench now. Can I say this real quick? For those who have received a wrench who are new mods on my chat, you don't have to be a mod. Maybe you've enjoyed not being a mod. You can relinquish the wrench. Don't worry about it. But Carver sent me a super chat yesterday, and he asked, is Nick free enough to make monkey noises at Fred? And we love Frederick. He called my show yesterday. We appreciate the callers on my show. He asked, is Nick free enough to make monkey noises at Fred? You got to understand that amongst the jokes, amongst the memes, and maybe whatever, there's an interesting question here. Is Nick free enough to make monkey noises at Fred? That is at least to Carver, and I got to say to others probably, a marker of freedom almost. Are you free enough? Are you free enough? And you're living in America. Remember that. You're a man living in America. And where is your freedom most challenged? Where is it evident that maybe you're not free? Who are you not allowed to criticize? I'm hearing that a lot lately. Who are you not allowed to criticize? Is Nick free? Isn't that an interesting thing? Even though he's maybe making a joke, maybe he's joking around, and maybe I don't want to put words in Carver's mouth. In some part of him knows that this may be a marker of a free man or not. Are you? I'm joking around. I'm playing around with jokes, but I'm when you put this in context with these young university guys, I'm bringing this topic up again because people really aren't free. And nobody has love for each other. Nobody has love because nobody has love for the black people, telling them that they should be offended by monkey noises, that they should be offended by this or that. Nobody has, and showing the world that, no, you're not free. Showing the world, hey, America is not a place of love and freedom. No, this is a place of censorship and blaming and hate, blame, and victimhood. You see what I'm saying here? Okay, so what else about this? Racist white, they're zeroing in on it. And I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but I'm just amazed. I got to, talk about it more a little bit. Radical Never Trump fraternity president just stabbed his own member in the back. I mean, Revolver here with the news that this one person here, this one individual, the one doing the monkey noises, got kicked out of the frat, the fraternity of men. There's almost something poetic here. Fraternity men at Ole Miss captured the nation's attention after they counter-protested. You know about that. We want Trump drowning out these people. But they're saying they singled out this one guy because of racist remarks, okay? School investigation has been launched against the student, and his fraternity has expelled him. It seems to be orchestrated by the National Phi Delta Theta organization, led by 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, if that's how you pronounce his last name. And the organization condemned Staples as a racist, said his actions are antithetical to the values of Phi Delta Theta. So, the Revolver is trying. In this article, the Revolver seems to make this distinction between the national leadership of these fraternities versus the local chapters, and how these national fraternities want them to be more diverse. And this is a show of that, of the problem here. It's just the Fed. It's just the gay Fed. But the local chapters are based, but I don't know. There has to be a systemic issue, if I can borrow some terms here. If you got the fraternity, where this is the frat, okay? We're the men's group of fraternity, and we think that the world should be more inclusive and just a more diverse place, because it's just real mean. It's just real mean and nasty. Isn't that interesting, though? At the national level, the fraternity is led by some person named 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏. I don't know who he is, but he's a never Trumper. The men's organize. How do I put this? Do you see the poetry? How do I put this? That at the top levels of the so-called so-called men's group, I'm going to keep it very general. You got this guy who's cheering on the Confederacy being taken down. Glad to see this guy tweeted. The Confederacy's attempt to literally break up our nation was defeated by the Union. Many regard them as traitors. So this guy's just... The soldier's back was turned against the North. It doesn't belong in the heart of our city, says this David guy who's afraid of statues, and agrees with this female spirit-led push against the history of the country because they have overreacted to it. Like I described earlier, I described the particular aspects of this mentality that reacts to the world. This is how they react. It's an overreaction. You know, the statues were always there, but all of a sudden we got to take it down because there's evil. There's evil afoot. People are mean and nasty, and they're white, and they got veins bulging, and they're saying Christ is king and America first. So we got to overreact. Do you see that? You can disagree, 888-775-3773. But that's who's leading this. Isn't that poetic? what's leading the men's movement, what's leading the Christian movement, what's leading the Republican patriotic America movement. Seems to always be a cabal of our enemies. Who the heck is this David Almas? He seems a little old to be a frat leader. or do I not understand fraternities clearly? Is there something I don't get? This guy doesn't look like a frat boy? Obviously, there's something I don't get, right? Someone could maybe explain it to me. I'm a little ignorant on something here. This does not look like your average fraternity dude, right? Where's the pit vipers, bro? Where's the hair? Where someone help me out because I don't get it. He's the leader of something, according to the Revolver. Leader of pull it back here. Hold on. Pulling it back here on the article. Yeah, Phi Delta Theta. The national leadership of Phi Delta Theta. I guess maybe this is not the time to figure out the intricacies of fraternities. But yeah, because he's the okay, here it is. Elected president of the General Council of Phi Delta Theta. I don't know how it works, but he sure don't look like a frat boy to me. Anyways, obviously I don't get it. Let's move on here. Where was I? That's the Brian Stelter smile that Alex Jones warned about. What do you expect him to look like? Everything is fake is asking. Well, clearly, if you're not following, I'm describing my ignorance of what a leader of a fraternity should look like. And when I'm looking at the fellas over here, I'm wondering, obviously the anchor baby's ignorant. It's clear the anchor baby's ignorant. But I'm just saying, it's like, doesn't look like a frat boy to me. You see the ignorance, right? That must be clear to you by now. Let's move on. Nick didn't go to school. Okay, so where were we? I wanted to show you something else, I think. I think we can move on. Because we got censorship a little bit to talk about. But hold up. Let me pull this up. Kale Somogi, hold on. I think I got a super chat from Kale Somogi. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I appreciate the support. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby if you would like to support. Carver with the coffee, in fact, thank you so much, says, hey, Nick, as a former Boy Scout, here's the inside scoop on Scouting America. For generations, the boys have been trying to figure out a way to get into the girls' tents. These clever scouts have finally done it. They cracked the code by thinking outside the box and probably deserve a merit badge for creativity and ingenuity. I salute them, but also disavow the ensuing hanky-panky out of wedlock. It's a mess, Carver. And so you get... Carver might understand what I was trying to get at, is this seeming attack of women trying to get into the men's spaces, and this assumption. It's this assumption of the reason they're not is lack of inclusivity, this boys, patriarchy, this assumption of hatred, showing their own evil, hateful hearts. Do you notice that? So when the women are all like, we're not getting enough support, it's them showing their evil, hateful hearts, their judgment. Because, and not only that, we're already living in a time where we kind of have put that to the test a little bit. We're kind of trying to give women everything, and they're still not happy. So, that should kind of lay it to rest. They don't need more stuff. They don't need more other things. They don't need things out there. They don't need men to act a certain way, other than to watch themselves. And right, they don't need all that. They don't need any of that. They need to forgive. They need to forgive and return to the Father. They need to overcome that spirit they got passed down from the woman. They're just like their mothers. I know I'm saying things here, but you get it. And this is a secret. It's a big old secret. And this is what everybody has to do. And this is a message for everybody, because they got people saying, how do I put this? They're suicidal out there. They're looking for answers. People are truly lost. They think they need to be all these things. Some go really far with it, and they got to change their whole bodies. It's transgenderism. We're talking about mutilations that lead to suicides. It's like, how do you talk about those people? How do you deal with that? Where do those people belong? Where do those do you understand me here? Where do all those people belong? They too must forgive. This is for everybody. There's this mess going on right now with this, what's this guy's name? Ryan Garcia? Anybody following UFC or whatever? Ryan Garcia. They're saying he's a wild one. I haven't really been following. They're saying he's wild one. Wild. And he's got a big fight coming up. There's allegations of drugs. He's a drug addict. Look, he's acting so crazy, just like a whacked out drug guy. He's like a Trump guy too. So they're trying to add all this stuff. Look at this crazy Trump guy. And I think he's even like maybe like a Catholic type person. I could be wrong, but I get this impression that he's this Catholic type person. And he's trying to uncover the truth. Uncover the truth and lies of the world. Maybe into some conspiracy stuff. It's the impression I get, some of the stuff he talks about. Why am I talking about him? I saw something Conor McGregor said to him. He's another fighter guy. And where is it? Get your head together, says Conor McGregor. He's talking about this guy, Ryan Garcia. Some of you may know who I'm talking about, but my description of the people so far is enough, to be honest. They're in the UFC world, fighters. Conor McGregor has never been hesitant to speak out against performance-enhancing drugs in combat sports. So his heated reaction toward Ryan Garcia should come as no surprise. You see, Conor McGregor's he minces no words, okay? You want tough love or whatever. Look. Anyways, let me just get to the point here with this article. What McGregor said was to Ryan Garcia was essentially like an admonishment. Cheated the weight and was juiced. Lifetime ban. Sad to see, sad to say, sad and a bit sick. Don't come near me if I ever see you, ever, Ryan Garcia. I'm actually disgusted. It reminds me of Sean O'Malley was on that as well. I mean, I don't know what that is. I don't like this. It'll bust yous both up. Do yous want a spar? I will set fights right now for you both for a full-on spar. Okay, he's like trying to help him out, I guess. Calling him out for using all these performance-enhancing drugs. What the F is up? I'm disgusted. What do you think you are at? Crazy. What the F happened to you, you little fool? Get your head together, because I's going to smash it in with elbows if you don't. Fair play. Blah, blah, blah. Get your head together or kill yourself. Get your head together or kill yourself. I guess, why am I even bringing that up? This is a less of a crystallized point, and then we'll move on. I'm bringing that up because I noticed the language people use. And I'm talking about Christians, men. And I don't know necessarily the details here. This could totally be bros, it's just tough love, whatever. But I'm noticing something about language here. Look at this meme. This is just a silly meme. This is just a silly meme from the right wing. It's just right-wing guys making memes, and we're just joking around. Trad West posts this, and we're just memeing around. I'm perfect the way I am, says this person on the left, and they're actually fat and ugly. And on the right says, I will never be perfect and always strive to be better is what I'm getting. I don't know. I'm kind of nitpicking. I wrote this down. I must have something better to talk about. I wrote this down here about language and the language you use. And what kind of like different movements are about who belongs where, and how love is for everybody. I don't know. I'm kind of nitpicking, actually, now that I think about it. I would rather move on. I think I have better things to talk about here. A little bit of a nitpicky thing. You do notice in people's language, they reveal that maybe they don't have faith, they don't have love or anything, and I don't know what Conor McGregor really meant, so I'd rather just move on. Because people got issues, and people are kind of really looking for help. And if only people told someone, like some people who've killed themselves so far, I guess, if someone only told them something like, your thoughts are lies, your emotions are not you. If someone could tell these women that have mom rage, and it sounds like some of these therapists are like somewhat saying that, but then go on to blame. If someone could tell the mom ragers, the Ryan Garcia, that these emotions are not you, that you shouldn't feel guilty for those things, and etc. Thoughts. Boom. Okay. I got something else to show you, though. A little bit on this. Check this out. The good Reverend Al Sharpton getting in on the beef. Hold up. I mentioned this a little bit yesterday. I was just thinking, I was like, hey, I grew up during a time when rap was, this is what rap was, okay? This is what it was kind of like for me growing up. How do I put it? Yeah, check this out. Growing up, it was kind of more like this. You remember this? You remember these? Yeah, it was like a little bit like this. It was a little bit of this. Oh, yeah. It was definitely this. It was definitely this. Like, I'm talking about rap and hip-hop, I guess. And how I saw it, right, as a kid growing up. And I liked some of it. And there was at times when I got into some hip-hop, etc. But that's not even the commentary on that. It's just kind of my impression of it, especially young. It was bling rap. Boasting, money and cars. Maybe a little bit of persevere through the struggle. That spoke to me for some reason. But that's kind of not violence. It wasn't violence and killing. It wasn't, that's not what it was for me. And I know that at a time it was, right? And that was kind of a dark time, quite a violent time in certain areas in America. I could be wrong about this. Someone could help me out. But there was a time where rap beef was like, bullets flying, no? Hip-hop's so soft now. Why don't they just kill? I see people say that sometimes. Rap is so soft now, they don't even kill each other anymore. It's like, good. I don't know what to say. But I've heard people say that about America. Men used to kill each other over insults. It was a duel to the death. And men were distinguished back then, so I don't know. But I mentioned this Drake-Kendrick beef a little bit yesterday, and I was just kind of pondering on it. Like, a part of me is saying, perfect industry. If I was a producer, wars breaking out everywhere. Let's also break it out in the rap world. And it seems to be bringing out the best in them. And another part of me was also thinking, they're not talking about being the greatest of all time, being the best rapper, having the most money, cars, and women. They are saying things I've never quite seen personally in my life. Really personal, nasty stuff. And if any of this is true, what they're saying in these songs, I know they're songs, this is really personal, nasty stuff. And if I know anything about human nature at this point, people are nasty people, and they kill, or maybe not necessarily kill, but they'll make you into an enemy for a lot less. For a lot less. And now these people got ego, money, fans. You got millions of people repeating these claims and allegations and nasty things and believing them. I was thinking, I don't know about you folks, this could be, and this is not me giving them street cred or something, this could be the return of violent rap beefs. And I say that almost in an ignorant way, like as if there weren't violent rap beefs. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. You still have, like, who did Slide? He's from Chicago. Slide, Chicago, FN. Who did that song, Slide? If you gon' slide, then slide, then. If you gon' slide, P, N-word, then slide, then. Yeah, that guy died. That was gang-affiliated stuff. Like, there's levels to this, but those are like those are rappers. Nobody cares about rappers anymore. The rap records. Who's making rap records? Okay, that was like in the 90s when people were dying and stuff. Nobody's making rap records anymore. They're making these albums that take the mass public by storm. And they've been doing that since like 2012 and all that. And so they've been beefing. Anyways, ramble. The point is, I was saying yesterday, is this the return of bullets flying? It could be. Daily Mail's reporting. You may have heard it on the Joel Friday podcast, Joel Friday TV. Drake's security guard is fighting for his life after being shot outside the megastar's $100 million mansion amid feud with Kendrick Lamar. Don't discount what the ego is willing to do. Don't discount how far the ego is willing to go. And I was saying just yesterday, this could be, I'm just in the realm of predictions and just yapping on the air. That's what I do. It could be the return of bullets flying amid rap beefs. It's not just, I'm the greatest. It's, yo, you cheated your wife, etc. Incredible things. What a mess. Isn't this proof of how violent people are? They're all into it and all that. People are, it's an angry place, an angry world. But what else did I want to say this? The good Reverend Al Sharpton. Well, he will not be in this world of beefs and who owns the throne. He will not be undone. No. Although this may be you may see this as a bit of a weak cry, a death throw, so to speak, of someone who used to have the throne and would like to have the throne but does not have the throne. What throne am I talking about? The black throne. Who's talking for black people? Who's talking for the blacks? And he does not want to be undone here, but this may be an old person in the you know what I'm saying? The last cries of trying to hold on to this throne, seeing that the black community, so to speak, it's black people. They're paying attention to this. So is the world, but you see, I'm rambling. Look, Reverend Al Sharpton on the Kendrick-Drake beef, okay? He's saying, I know everybody's locked into the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle, but there's a bigger one at stake in November. Oh, Reverend Al Sharpton. If you thought he was anything but an establishment little mouthpiece here, saying that what's really important is November. He's not wrong in a sense, but when it's coming from the establishment side, it's like, what do you mean November is important? Because Trump is an actual challenge to all that? That's not what you mean, surely. The good Reverend Al Sharpton will not be dethroned, and who gets to tell black people what to think?
When did we reverse trying to match our situation with uplifting or inspiring our people? Right. It's too much. We always had people that would tell, crazy stuff, but now it's dominant. It's almost like those that control the industry, which are white, use some artists to poison our youngsters and poison some of our older people without even putting them in check. Wow. And these are the ones Donald Trump related to in part.
Yeah.
And he can pardon one or two rappers, but he'll cut health care, cut Social Security,
right.
cut women's right to choose.
Right.
So, I mean, that's why I say, when was he on our side? Explain to me when he was on our side. Biden has things that I've questioned. I marched on Biden in the 90s when he and Clinton came with the crime bill. But Biden has done concrete things, and it said that the crime bill did go too far. He was Barack Obama's vice president. I sat in the room 100 times with Biden as vice president. He pushed Obama on some of the stuff we wanted. I've never heard, in the years I've been out here, 50 years, I've never heard Donald Trump stand up for one killing in New York. Not one.
Wow. Wow, he says. Wow. I haven't heard him stand up. Is that what he said? Is that what he said wow to? Did I miss that? Wait. A grown man.
I sat in the room 100 times with Biden as vice president. He pushed Obama on some of the stuff we wanted. I've never heard, in the years I've been out here, 50 years, I've never heard Donald Trump stand up for one killing in New York. Not one.
And so that's proof that he doesn't care. And it's like, what are we supposed to gather from that? Oh, looking sharp in his suit. But Trump. And also white people run it, black people. So hate them too. And but Trump and hate, blame, and victimhood. And I don't even know why y'all's gonna vote for Trump anyways. It's not like Biden's so bad. It's like, yeah, sure, the crime bill. It's like, hold up. Do I smell a little bit of PR work happening here? Do I smell a little public relations with the Democrats and black people? Maybe they can think somewhat for themselves, like most people. Somewhat for yourself, and that's not good. Not for them. I'm just smelling a little bit of fear there, and it's funny that they got to turn to what they delineate as good and bad in Biden's presidency to appeal to black voters is an interesting little dance that they got to do here. It's quite interesting that you got to dance around this to say that because they're trying to say, well, Trump is bad and Biden's good. But what don't blacks like about Biden? Oh, the crime bill. But that was actually pretty based about Biden and was positive for crime. And I could be incorrect here, but from my understanding, blacks actually were appreciative of the crime bill in the 90s, which the race hustlers wanted to tell the world was too far and racist, etc., but was quite positive in terms of reducing crime. Like I was saying earlier, that era of rap and all that, it was a more violent time. They say the homicides were out of control. So it's interesting to see Al Sharpton, a race hustler here, have to dance around that and showing us, the audience who's paying attention, demarcating exactly where the line is. Isn't that funny? And it shows us, to be honest, the insincerity and hard-heartedness of the blacks themselves. That you have to tiptoe around that part because I don't know, racism, because that's why. Quite a fascinating thing here, the Reverend here, not to be outdone. You still have to hate those white people. They're controlling the music. Okay, they're running it. Okay, that beef orchestrated. You know, last I heard, I mean, I don't know. I'm hearing all sorts of things, Al Sharpton. I'm hearing all sorts of conspiracy theories nowadays. Now, you're telling me white people, just yesterday, I heard Jewish people run it. So what am I supposed to believe, Al Sharpton? I don't know, man. I'm going to wait and see and get my facts straight. Because I got all sorts of people telling me things. What a mess. What else? 8 blaming victimhood. We got Art out of Ohio on the air. Appreciate your call, sir.
Hey, what's up with you, Nick?
All is well. Nice to hear from you.
Hey, good to hear from you, too. Scroll down, man. With this, bro, go put that picture.
You want me to scroll down?
Yeah, what this bro? Why is bro sitting like that? And
Don't laugh.
like
Don't laugh.
his-
You wish you looked that fly.
Nah, but bro look like he got a cooter cat.
No. Well, he looks good in purple. It's royalty.
Bro look like he got a pamper on.
A what?
A pamper.
A pamper. Bro, looking like I can jump in. I can jump in. I can do it. I can do it. I can jump in on this fun colloquial game. Bro looking like a label for Welch's grapes.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I did
Bro,
good. I did good.
Who is he taking this video where he just got his whole joint? he got his whole pamper exposed.
Somebody not helping him out with the angles here. Bro looking like a...
Bro.
I may have something else in my pocket. Let me see. Bro looking like... No, I'll let you take it. You take it away.
Bro, like 130 years old. This video's back in like 1970 or whatnot. He was like 70, 18. Nah, look, bro, older than dirt. Long story short, just when I see Al Sharpton, first thing I think is this fellas in the chat. Just imagine you on the beach and you got all the finest ladies. Nick, you too. Any type of female that you can imagine. Or whatnot, a girl of your choice.
Okay.
If Joe was around, we not counting Big Shirley Joe. We don't. Big Shirley ain't in this frame or whatnot.
No, not his.
Yeah,
no Joe.
Yeah, Joe. He looked like he dated a Big Shirley or something. Long story short, all the fellas in the chat or whatnot. Imagine you. So this just had this frame in your head. They all lined up or whatnot, and they all like bent over like they about to get something to drink or whatnot, and they got their little frame or whatnot sticking out there, and then you just you keep scrolling down and you looking at all these little nice frames or whatnot on these females, and then you see Al Sharpton over there bent over with his crooked. Yeah, like bro, when you get to Al Sharpton, like bro, get your fruity ass up out the way or whatnot, man. You know what I mean? That's what I see when I see Al Sharpton.
I can see Al Sharpton. I can see Al Sharpton walking on the beach now. Actually, I'll try and put up an example on the screen. But go ahead. You were saying? Yeah,
it's like, bro, why you got we looking at the girls bent over and you got your fruity ass.
Hey,
over
stop!
Here bent
The
over
sun is up.
Yeah, like bro, you got to push him out the way. Like bro, move around. Like bro, you know what I mean? That's what I see when I see Al Sharpton. He over there. He want to be like the girls.
Go on.
You see him?
Gossiping with the girls.
Yeah, that's what I see with a fruit. He look like he gave me fruity pot. Like it's like.
Are you saying he's not morally straight?
No, I'm saying he need to get. When I see him talking this Trump nonsense he talking about, I think like, boy, you need to get your ass up out the air.
Stop saying that. The sun is still up. And I've been a little traumatized, and maybe for a good reason. You know, I personally, I almost didn't even hear you say it the first 2 times, and then it took you had to say it like 3 or 4 times for me to realize. Oh, wait a second. But go on. You were saying
he got that mug doggy style, and he shouldn't. And when you're done picking up,
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
I said he doing. It's like he looking doggy style or whatever. He got to stop doing this. He's too old to be doing this for the Democrats. That's why I can't be no Democrat.
That's a mess.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I can't be.
I'm following. He's on their leach and in a certain position, showing showing a lot of loyalty and fealty.
Yeah, and if you listen to them, that's they point in their argument. What has Trump ever did? It ain't nothing that he can do, but the little bit that he do, because all of these people that's already been in this politics at this level of government, all are related. So all of them are trying to keep him out. He's the odd man out. So no wonder they all going to be against him.
Well, my only thing is that my main thing with Al and anybody is like, you have to be a hateful person. Like Al Sharpton's existence and the way he talks about black people should be a kind of an example on how any politician really is talking about most people, first of all, but also it's such a good example of how people really have no love for anybody, and especially the black people they say they have love for, and especially the people who bill themselves to be the lover, the true lover. I'm here to save them and all that are the worst, and they're. You understand what I'm saying here? What gets me is how you have to be a hateful person to look at black people at large and say to them, be offended by you. This or that group runs things, and you should, and it's a negative thing on you, and it's holding you back, etc. You get it.
I know one thing. He ain't telling. He saying the same old stuff that he was saying back in the 1970s.
Yeah.
He ain't saying. I ain't heard him say nothing different or whatnot. Every time you hear him speak, and you know that lets you know everything you need to know about him or whatnot. And then if he is one of these people that's he say, I like Trump now, it's gonna be when he on his deathbed or something. You know what I mean? Not wishing no bad on him or whatnot.
And we'll say right on Al Sharpton. So
it's gonna. It ain't gonna be no time soon. It's gonna be late. He gonna be he gonna catch it late. Like, and if he going wherever, if Al Sharpton is telling you to go left, you need to go right.
Better, right on. Yeah, better late than never. Hey, okay, but hold on. Looking clean or no? Looking fresh? Looking clean?
Who, you?
Al Sharpton.
Oh man, what? Heck no, ain't nobody messing with him. Heck no, we rolling with Trump, man, for sure.
Right on, sir. Appreciate it as always. Call me again.
Catch you later. Yeah.
Right on. I just wanted to. Everything is fake. I just wanted to. What's up, sir? Nice to see you in the chat. I just wanted to do a little self-reflection. You know, we don't want to be player hating, because you could disagree with someone, but someone could still look fly. And only you got to be player hating. I'm not saying Art is. I'm not saying he's player hating. Not at all. Let's just move on. What else do we got here in the last few minutes here? What did I have for you? What did I have for you? There's all this crazy. There's this. You might find this interesting. They seem to be. They seem to be a test server for new features. I'm talking about Canada. They seem to be a testing grounds for beta testing of policies and such. You know, they're talking about anti-Semitism in Congress. And although this bill, like I was telling you yesterday, isn't exactly from what I can tell, from what seems to be in the wording of this bill, it seems to be centered around giving the universities legal recourse against these protests. I mean, which that in itself, I'm sure, has been an interesting thing. You got to wonder, you can't help but think about Black Lives Matter protests. And that insanity, and where was the law? Where was the Congress? Where was the full brunt of the law over then? But Canada seems to be a testing ground for things, and they're talking about this anti-Semitism like I'm talking about. And although it's not exactly like the Islamophobia thing that happened in Canada, it was quite a number of years before. What, decade plus? Islamophobia, remember, it was a decade now. It was almost a decade, I think almost, when they started, what was it, Bill C-16 or whatever in Canada? And it was this, a lot of noise was made by rebel media. Jordan Peterson at the time, who was like a University of Toronto professor, and this was before any of that fame. And that's where they got Jordan Peterson got kind of some notoriety, was going up against this. I could be wrong. Bill C-16 may have been the Islamophobia one. But there was another one, which was one that gave the Crown, or Child Protective Services in Canada, whatever they're called, the ability to take your kids away if you disagreed with certain transgenderism things. Transphobia, they called it. So you see there's been quite a bit of a ism push in the government. Things that would make Stalin blush, says Revolver. In thought police laws. Thought policing laws. Things that would be, I guess, crazy enough years ago. A law limiting speech? What are you, what are you, a communist? That's insane. But that's pretty much happening all the time now. In ways the public has even no clue about. How speech and information is being dealt with, censored, obfuscated, kept from platforms, etc. Kept from search terms, kept from search engines by way of the law and precedent in ways people have no idea. Well, Canada seems to be introducing what Revolver is calling a blood-curdling new thought police law that would make even Stalin blush. It's called the Online Harms Bill C-63, and it would make apparently communism times a million, according to Revolver. It would make Kim Jong-un would look at this bill and feel an instant rush of communist inadequacy, they put it. Justin Trudeau is fueling online rumors that his real father is actually the communist Fidel Castro. You may know about this conspiracy a little bit. And the Revolver is peddling in this conspiracy, tongue-in-cheek. They're just playing around, okay, public? It's amazing I have to even explain this. Peddling in this just baseless conspiracy, like, just baseless conspiracy. Like, just that anyone would make this connection, I fail to see. I fail to see why anyone would even mistakenly or even would be tempted to make such a connection personally. As you're looking at these photos of Justin Trudeau and Fidel Castro, I personally fail to see that at all. I mean, it's just coincidence as far as I'm concerned. And I'm doing all this tongue-in-cheek voice. It could really be coincidence, but what a coincidence. I'm just saying the temptation is there, obviously. I mean, these photos alone, the temptation is there for the mainstream media to be incredulous. It's just... But okay, maybe it's just photos. Maybe it's just a passing resemblance. What's Revolver talking about? What is in this bill, Revolver, on this online harms bill? The new bill is aimed at safeguarding the masses from, there it is, hate speech. Hate speech. It's always the hate speech. And you got to be a hateful person to believe in hate speech. You know what I mean? Imagine you have to be a hateful person to think that people can't speak freely, disagree, be offended, even say horrible, hateful things, and not be able to just deal with life in the world. You have to be a hateful, fearful person to think that. And so it's been quite an interesting thing with X, Elon Musk, free speech, Nick Fuentes' return on Twitter. I say we talk it out. It's beautiful. Let's talk it out. So what else about this? Online Harms Act, they go with the hate speech thing. It's a female, a hateful, fearful. Let's put it in terms here. This is how you can understand what I'm saying about women. It is a hateful and fearful way of responding to the world. To think that hate speech is a thing and that you must protect people from speech, you are a hateful and fearful person. And you got to understand, that's what I mean by the woman's way of responding to the world. You now understand that it's not her XY chromosome or whatever chromosome she has. It might be, but it's the spirit. It's this spirit of hate and fear, which comes through the woman, which is in fact what we call femininity, what we call girliness. I know it has a cute side. I get it. People say, "Oh, I'm hearing women, especially women who are learning about men and women. They're learning all the things. they're saying things like, "I'm going into my femininity. I'm leaning into my femininity." What they don't realize they're saying is they're leaning into vapidness, shallow, fear. That's what they're leaning into. And I get it. It's got a cute side. Little girls are cute when they're dumb and vapid and shallow. And they're cute and they should be protected and all that. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's what leaning into your femininity is. It's the spirit of Satan. And it has nothing to do with your long hair and your and the way you were born. And it's not about hating women. You understand? It's about I'm talking about hate and fear. I'm not even talking about your soft skin and your you know what I mean? I'm not talking about you the woman. I'm talking about hate and fear, which is not manly. Hopefully you understand the story here. It took me 2 hours to say it. Maybe as I live my life, I will be able to crystallize it in a better way for you, my audience. I hope you enjoyed it. That's pretty much the show, though. We got through it here a little bit. Join me tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby. We got Manhood Hour, Hake Report at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, and Joel Friday TV, 11 a.m. Don't miss it. And we'll be back tomorrow noon for more American Anchor Baby. But that's pretty much it from me today. What else? Let me check here. Make sure that all of our P's and Q's are settled. Super chats and otherwise. My supporters on Rumble, thank you so much. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Thank you, D-Live. We got some top supporters. Beta Legs, Games for Rec, and Hake Report have secured their Ballers Lounge seats for this Friday. So don't miss it. First Class Friday. Okay, folks, that's it. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, I'm